Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is an American politician, businessman, and former television personality. He is the President-elect of the United States and is scheduled to take office as the 45th president on January 20, 2017. Born and raised in the Queensboro of New York City, the fourth of five children, Trump received a bachelor's degree in economics from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania in 1968. In 1971, he took charge of his family's real estate and construction firm, Elizabeth Trump and Son, which was later renamed the Trump Organization. During his business career, Trump has built, renovated, and managed numerous office towers, hotels, casinos, and golf courses. He owned the Miss USA and Miss Universe pageants from 1996 to 2015, and has lent the use of his name in the branding of various products. From 2004 to 2015, he hosted The Apprentice, a reality television show on NBC. As of 2016, Forbes listed him as the 324th wealthiest person in the world, 113th in the United States, with a net worth of $4.5 billion. Trump sought the Reform Party's presidential nomination in 2000, but withdrew before voting began. He considered running as a Republican for the 2012 election, but ultimately decided against it. In June 2015, he announced his candidacy for the 2016 election, and quickly emerged as the front-runner among 17 contenders in the Republican primaries. His final opponents suspended their campaigns in May 2016, and in July he was formally nominated at the Republican convention along with Mike Pence as his running mate. His campaign received unprecedented media coverage and international attention. Many of his statements and interviews, on social media, and at campaign rallies were controversial or false. Numerous anti-Trump protests occurred during his campaign and after the election. Trump won the general election on November 8, 2016, in a surprise victory against Democratic rival Hillary Clinton. At age 70, he will become the oldest and wealthiest person to assume the presidency, the first without prior military or governmental service, and the fourth elected with less than a plurality of the national popular vote. Trump's platform emphasizes renegotiating U.S.-China relations and free trade agreements such as NAFTA and the Trans-Pacific Partnership, strongly enforcing immigration laws, and building a new wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. His other positions include pursuing energy independence while opposing climate change regulations such as the Clean Power Plan and the Paris Agreement, reforming Veterans Affairs, replacing the Affordable Care Act, abolishing Common Core education standards, investing in infrastructure, simplifying the Internal Revenue Code, tax code, while reducing taxes across the board, and imposing tariffs on imports by companies offshoring jobs. He advocates a largely non-interventionist approach to foreign policy while increasing military spending, extreme vetting of Muslim immigrants to preempt domestic Islamic terrorism, and aggressive military action against ISIS. His positions have been described by scholars and commentators as populist, protectionist, and nationalist. Personal life. Trump has 5 children by 3 marriages, and has 8 grandchildren. His first 2 marriages ended in divorces that were publicized in the tabloid media. Trump married his first wife, Czech model Ivana Zelníková, on April 7, 1977, at the Marble Collegiate Church in Manhattan in a ceremony performed by one of America's most famous ministers, the Reverend Norman Vincent Peale. They had 3 children, son Donald Jr., born December 31, 1977, daughter Imka, born October 30, 1981, and son Eric, born January 6, 1984. Donald Jr., Imka, and Eric now serve as executive vice presidents of the Trump Organization. Ivana became a naturalized United States citizen in 1988. Early life. Further information, Trump family. Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Jamaica, Queens, a neighborhood in New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children born to Frederick Christ Fred Trump, 1905 to 1999, and Marianne Trump, née McLeod, 1912 to 2000. His siblings are Marianne, Fred Jr., Elizabeth, and Robert. Trump's older brother Fred Jr. died in 1981 from alcoholism, which Trump says led him to abstain from alcohol and cigarettes. Business career: real estate. Prior to graduating from college, Trump began his real estate career at his father's company, Elizabeth Trump & Son, which focused on middle-class rental housing in the New York City boroughs of Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. During his undergraduate study, Donald Trump and his father, Fred Trump, used a $500,000 investment to successfully reopen the foreclosed Swifton Village apartment complex in Cincinnati, Ohio. After being promoted to president of the company in the early 1970s, while his father became chairman of the board, he renamed it to the Trump Organization. In 1973, he and his father drew wider attention when the Justice Department contended that the organization systematically discriminated against African Americans wishing to rent apartments, rather than merely screening out people based on low income, as the Trumps stated. An agreement was later signed in which the Trumps made no admission of wrongdoing, and under which qualified minority applicants would be presented by the Urban League. Atlantic City casinos. Harrah's at Trump Plaza opened in Atlantic City, New Jersey in 1984. The hotel, casino was built by Trump with financing by Holiday Corporation and operated by the Harrah's gambling unit of Holiday Corporation. The casino's poor results exacerbated disagreements between Trump and Holiday Corporation. Trump also acquired a partially completed building in Atlantic City from the Hilton Corporation for $320 million. When completed in 1985, the hotel, casino became Trump Castle. Trump's wife, Ivana, managed the property. Bankruptcies. Trump has never filed for personal bankruptcy, but his hotel and casino businesses have been declared bankrupt 6 times between 1991 and 2009 in order to renegotiate debt with banks and owners of stock and bonds. Because the businesses used Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they were allowed to operate while negotiations proceeded. Trump was quoted by Newsweek in 2011 saying, "I do play with the bankruptcy laws, they're very good for me as a tool for trimming debt." The 6 bankruptcies were the result of over-leveraged hotel and casino businesses in Atlantic City and New York. Trump Taj Mahal, 1991, Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, 1992, Plaza Hotel, 1992, Trump Castle Hotel and Casino, 1992, Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, 2004, and Trump Entertainment Resorts, 2009. Trump said, "I've used the laws of this country to pare debt. We'll have the company. We'll throw it into Chapter. We'll negotiate with the banks. We'll make a fantastic deal. You know, it's like on The Apprentice. It's not personal. It's just business." Income and taxes. Pursuant to the FAQ regulations, Trump published a 92-page financial disclosure form listing all his assets, liabilities, income sources and hundreds of business positions. According to a July 2015 campaign press release, Trump's income for the year 2014 was $362 million. However, Trump has repeatedly declined to publicly release any of his full tax returns, citing a pending IRS audit, despite such an audit not prohibiting him from releasing his current or past tax returns. In doing so, Trump broke nearly 45 years of precedent of candidates for the general election releasing their tax returns to the American public. In October 2016, it was revealed that Trump had claimed a loss of $916 million on his 1995 tax returns. As net operating losses from one year can be applied to offset income from future years, this loss allowed him to reduce or eliminate his taxable income during the 18-year carry-forward period. Trump acknowledged using the deduction but declined to provide details such as the specific years it was applied. Net worth. Trump was listed on the initial Forbes list of wealthy individuals in 1982 as having an estimated $200 million fortune, including a share of his father's estimated $200 million net worth. He was absent from the list from 1990 to 1995 following losses which reportedly obliged him to borrow from his siblings' trusts in 1993. Trump told campaign audiences he began his career with a small loan of $1 million from his father, which he paid back with interest. Political career. Trump considered the idea of running for president in 1988, 2004, and 2012, and for governor of New York in 2006 and 2014, but did not enter those races. Presidential transition. On November 10, President-elect Trump had his first meeting with President Obama to discuss plans for a peaceful transition of power. The New York Times stated that it was an extraordinary show of cordiality and respect between two men who have been political enemies and are stylistic opposites. The BBC stated that their antipathy was barely concealed in awkward photos of the meeting.